So I've had a huge opportunity open up. My mom has an old art studio that hasn't been used since I think the early 2000s, maybe even 1999. My parents have offered it to me, which is hugely exciting. I've always worked out of the places I've lived. First, my little apartment, and for the last 10 years, this living room. Which I do kind of like. It means I can work late at night and just totter off to bed. I can add a quick layer to a sculpture or a painting while I'm waiting for something in the oven or on my lunch break from work. In some ways, it's great, but it doesn't transition gracefully when people come over, and I haven't worked on any big pieces since my boyfriend moved in 3 years ago. So I'm incredibly excited to have a chance at a permanent studio, somewhere I can set up big projects and have my supplies right where I need them. So here it is. And once upon a time, it was a single car garage, and it was turned into a studio. So it's kind of your basic single car garage length space. That sink has water, but it doesn't actually drain to anywhere, so I'm gonna have to come up with some ideas for cleaning my brushes and stuff like that. I'll probably just bring, pails and filters and do it manually. Some wall space, a big old drafting desk. I'm told it's from a architect's office. Got big deep drawers, so I might be able to stash a whole bunch of my stuff in there, which would be really great. There is a little heater because I've been in here in the winter and it's pretty darn cold. And it's got this amazing old desk. Look at those legs. So I've got a nice primary work desk there. I've been vacuuming. There's a view from the other side. So it's going to be fun getting this together and seeing what it could be. Extra surprise. Some kind of plant's been growing up through the woodwork, and it didn't make it. Wow. Whoever made this, actually, now I see they labeled the drawers. I love it when you use something that somebody else made and you can see the marks of how they made it. It just gives you that sense of like the continuity, from the hands of one person that made something to another. And I feel like everyone who makes things knows that feeling and that it's coat up, which is super exciting. This has been sort of 3 days of prepping and painting. When I say days, that's not really fair because I do this after work in the evenings. So 3 days for me, but only a few hours each time. Anyway, I'm just loving how light and bright it is, but it's a beautiful evening and I just feel awesome that we got this far. Thanks. So when this thing gets full, as in it's had many uses, it starts to feel a bit heavy and clunky, and there's not quite as much space here for tapping out your brush or your roller. And you get to do this really satisfying thing where you tear off all the old paint. So this floor, I've already given it one round of a normal mop, like a scrubby mop, and I've gotten down on my hands and knees with a brush and scrubbed out what was sort of this path through the middle. So I gave that a really good scrub. But the floor is still really awful. And before I started painting the walls, I thought, you know what, it's a working studio, I'm going to be dropping paint and all kinds of things on the floor. But now that I've painted the walls and painted the trim and things are looking clean and fresh and it's starting to feel like this whole new start, I don't think I can just let the floors go, because there'll never really be another chance to get into every corner of the studio and truly get it clean, you know, once I move all the furniture into position. That's kind of going to be it. So I'm running out of elbow grease with all the painting and scrubbing lately, so I went down to Canadian Tire and I picked up a brush on a drill. And I have no idea if it's any good, but I'm really hoping that it's going to shorten up the amount of work here and at least make it tolerable, because these floors are hideous. Slope to it. So Paul ripped up this floor, where you'll remember there was this huge gap before, and nothing was rotten underneath, which is awesome, but the concrete bed of the building is sort of sagging away. So he shimmed the whole floor up, put on a new sheet of plywood, and there we are, a level floor. So everything's moved in, and I've actually started on my first painting. That'll be another video. So in this big old architect's bureau, I've got my brushes, my oil mediums, kind of my bits and bobs and hardware for making things work, canvas stretching supplies, and then we've got acrylic paints, gessos and grounds. Some of them are not there right now because I'm using them on another project. oil paints, oil bars, other oil paints, some palettes in the bottom of that drawer, my easel, which is in the lightest part of the studio, right across from these north-facing windows. Tabaret with tempered glass, and under that I usually put a grayscale palette so that you can tell what your medium gray is. My tabaret changes constantly, it depends on what the project is. So right now it's suited to where I'm at with this painting, but it changes a lot. The old bench I moved here, got it a few pillows so that it's a comfy place to sit and put my feet up and work on my sketchbook and do my journaling. I refinished the wood a little bit because it was super damaged and pretty beat up. So I gave it a nice wax and shine. Razzie's new cat tree. He got used to that at home first, and then I brought it here and he recognized it right away, so that was awesome. He's not here with me today because I just stopped in to do this video and I didn't want to freak him out. But he's come 6 times so far, so I'll show you him here as soon as I can. The main desk, canvas and paper storage, and the sink. So this is how the space has ended up. Everything's painted, everything's clean. I've got almost all of my art supplies in. There's still a few things at home because I'm finishing up one last project there. I've started a new project here, and that'll be on a different video. I've got everything I need, and it's just been incredible the last couple of weeks that I've been using this space to come in and just get down to work and leave it when I leave and not have to pack everything away. It's awesome to have a space that works perfectly for its job. I've never had this, and I'm just profoundly grateful for the opportunity. And I'm glad that I got to bring something to the space. I know that it's a little bit cleaner and happier and in better repair now than it was a couple months ago.